Speakers at a slain police officer's funeral just yesterday, calling for change and calling out politicians. The funeral service for Anthony Mazurkiewicz was a way for his colleagues and family to pay tribute to him, but in doing so, they did also call for changes. Changes they say will mean safer streets for all. And while no politicians were called out by name, several were in attendance, including Governor Kathy Hochul. Now, as Chase Howell explains, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle agree more needs to be done to address ongoing violence in Rochester. The question remains, though, Chase, whether they're going to agree on something and actually take action. Chase?
Doug, that's a question many people are asking, hoping to see action versus just talking. But the message was made clear during Officer Anthony Mazurkiewicz's funeral yesterday. People want to see change so deaths like Officer Mazurkiewicz won't happen again. An arena full of people sharing memories of Officer Anthony Mazurkiewicz during his funeral. The Rochester police officer killed in the line of duty on July 21st. Speakers also taking a moment to speak directly to lawmakers in the crowd, demanding change.
Now, I know that we have some local politicians and I know that we have some state officials here, but I pray that perhaps maybe this reaches some of our federal ears. I pray that it does, because this has got to come to an end. It's got to come to an end.
Congressman Joe Morelli was one of the local politicians at the funeral Monday. He says what happened to Officer Mazurkiewicz and seeing the violence in his own backyard isn't only frustrating, but heartbreaking.
I understand their frustration. We're frustrated as well. No one wants to see this happen to an amazing city and an amazing community. But the violence is unmistakable.
LaRon Singletary, who is running against Morelli for Congress, also attended Officer Mazurkiewicz's funeral. He says hearing the speaker's call for action Monday should make any lawmaker get up and take action.
The number one role of government is to provide for the safety and protection of its citizens. If we're not making our police officers safe, how can we accurately protect the citizens of Rochester?
Singletary and Morelli may be on different sides of the aisle, but they agree on the same thing. Something has to change.
Everyone has to be involved in this. Everyone has to care about this. We have to make it so people in our community don't feel a sense of hopelessness.
We have to support our police. We have to repeal the policies that have been put in place by politicians who don't seem to care about safety of this community.
I did reach out to Governor Kathy Hochul's office this morning for comment about the calls for action by yesterday's speakers. And just minutes ago, her office referred me to a tweet from yesterday where she says she joins all New Yorkers in the morning of Officer Mazurkiewicz's death.
Is the National Night Out Against Crime all across the country and here in Rochester. Good evening. I'm Doug Embledge. Jenny Ryan has the night off tonight. And perhaps it's taking on new meaning this year, given the level of violence and the good people living in fear in some Rochester neighborhoods. Tonight, officers around the city responded to a different kind of call, a call to join in picnics and block parties. Carla Rogner went to one of those celebrations tonight where she heard from neighbors, some of them children, about how crime impacts their lives. Carla at the Public Safety Building tonight.
Yeah, Doug, for police officers, tonight was a chance to connect with the community members they serve, and for neighbors in some of Rochester's more violent neighborhoods, it was an opportunity to meet those who are tasked with keeping them safe. While getting some butterfly tattoos, snacking on hot dogs, and sending police officers into a dunk tank, kids who live in the Clinton Avenue neighborhood got to talk with police and city leaders about the violence in their own backyards.
I told him that I was terrified.
That was young Nizair Davis's message for Mayor Malik Evans and Chief David Smith, who he was excited to meet at National Night Out.
There needs to be less guns in the city.
His cousin Rayshawn agrees.
I think it's terrifying for all the young kids that's in the city, and they need to just stop the crime in the city.
This celebration is set in a city neighborhood that has seen dramatic increases in crime. It's also about a mile from where RPD officer Anthony Mazurkiewicz was shot and killed, his partner wounded, less than 2 weeks ago.
This is the best I've felt in about a week. But yeah, I mean, as you look around, you see, it gives the officers a chance to let their hair down, so to speak. Meet kids, meet community members. And, it's important that members of the community see us as the human beings that we are. We really are no different. It's just we've taken an oath to protect and defend.
We're all in this together, and they want to do what they can to support their community, and they also want to be able to work with law enforcement to help transform the community.
Before Chief Smith sent him down the dunk tank, RPD Lieutenant Ron Malley says events like this allow officers to learn how they can better serve the community.
Especially with staffing issues and crime being what it is, now more than ever we have to rely on the community to do our job, and the community needs us as well.
And the police chief said tonight that things like National Night Out are exactly what the community needs more of in order to stand up against the violence.